Hey guys, this is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and I am here to talk about the November update for the company and our Kickstarter. And you are staring at a Ani, which is a new race that's being introduced in the new book. We have a couple cool illustrations to show off. This is another Ani. We have two images for the new race. This is a new life path for the Pegasus, so this is a cross fanatic. This is for our chapter 3. This is Nick Greenwood's image, because they're all Nick Greenwood's images. But here we've got a Neverborn, and yeah, it's not a good guy. It's not a good character. This is the demon image from the first cover. She gets to have another illustration in the book. Thorntra, we know about him. These are the Saints. We're going to be going a lot of details into them. This is a new chapter start. Note the kind of torn paper on the bottom. That's kind of a new effect we're doing for the new book. This deals with the new Amethyst artifacts. We have two Amethyst artifacts we're introducing, including this clasp, which enchants the cloak of Amethyst. The rings are coming back. We have a couple new Elimshao Custodian variations. This is one, and this is the other. This is a location in Baruch Melkut, which we will be exploring in huge details in the new book. This is Uzu, which is in the north area near the Pegasus area of Apocrypha. Very interesting history for that one. Berganassus, this is I was doing floating mountains a long time before James Cameron did floating mountains, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm keeping with it. This is a new expansion for Fargon. This is their Great Wall up in Alaska. I think we've seen this before. That's the Ladini image. This is Rankava, the Floating Heads of Wisdom. And this is the Sana Marsh. We have a new image for Sana Marsh. And Selmana, which is this. It's an area that was hinted at in the first game, in the first book, and now we're exploring it a bit more depth, not really answering everything. Those swords, by the way, are something like 40, 50 stories tall. They're very, very large. One of the biggest areas we're exploring is South America, so South America gets fully explored, and this is a location in South America. This is another image from there. We're going into detail in the wave crashers and the shore runners. These are ships that are basically strapped to the backs of creatures, and then the creatures move through the sea. Ogres, we got ogres, not very Shrek looking. Wakai, which is the subterranean empire of the Tenenbree, or these pale-skinned subterranean elves. Chigoth, people know that Chigoth, and he's getting stats finally in the new book. Got some Tekkens, that's pretty cool. The anathema of the Tenenbree, the Kythics. They're finally getting some stats officially. And we have Ograx, which are the stopgap measure between an ogre and a Chigoth. This is a saint. This is a high-tech character. It looks kind of unusual. I really like this image, by the way. This is a cool image. And this kind of goes into detail of what the saints are all about. I'm not going to explain them here. You'll have to read the book. Going into Shemjaza again. Ogres with a background. Oh, I didn't know I actually had an ogre with a background. Cool. These are images are part of this one right here, which is the chapter 2 start. These are chaperons. These are the Adu chaperons, which are more field-based and not forest-based, still kind of keeping with the aesthetic that's kind of African-inspired. This is one of my favorite chaperon images I think Nick's done. I think it's really, really solid. This is a new section dealing with the saints. Definitely a real classic Jim Burns aesthetic. I really, really like it. And this is the cover. This is the cover for Amethyst Factions. You'll see this cover on every single Factions book. I think it's fantastic. Once again, we have the Neverborn in the background, and we have two characters in the back, a Damascan and a Tekken human, which is, I think he's a saint or an Iron Sun. I can't remember what logo I gave Nick, but I think it still works regardless. I think that's probably one of the most realistic looking faces I've seen. That's just fantastic. And we can see we're got some crops for that one. This image is coming back in style, I think, and then we got a reanimated dinosaur getting shot with a laser gun, which is something I think is something exclusive to Amethyst. Note the location beyond, which is a Pacific location. If you know anything about Canadian geography, especially Western Canadian geography, you'll know what those are. This, I don't know, Nick just drew this, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. Not sure I'm going to use it, but I'll find a way. That's the chapter start version, and then that is a regular version. And we have a map. I'm not going to explain what this is. This is the module that's inside. It's a 3-level spaceship. So yep, there's the dungeon for the next book will be a spaceship. As you can see, a relatively large spaceship. And this is our Saint. This is another Tekken chapter opening. This is a scene from the novel. If you guys have read any of the framing fiction, or you will read the framing fiction in the new book, you'll know what this is. This is Tasia Krufix. Says Tasia right there. Although I probably would say her last name, not her first name, but whatever. Anyway, that's a scene from the book. And this is an example of a close to finished chapter. I think all the chapters are somewhat finished. We just have to insert art elements. And so this is an example of one such chapter. This is chapter 2. It's not 100%. I think we're missing just one illustration in this one. But you can see how that torn paper aesthetic kind of plays in with the rest of the book. So you can see here, so that's a chapter start, so we're going to be going right into the Adu Bushmans, which is the reason why they're the cover image. And then we kind of repeat that illustration there. There's the Damascus from the cover we're playing with. So you can see the aesthetic is still very similar to the old book, but we've played around with the fonts and a few other things. I think there's going to be a new GIMP illustration in that section. There's our Pegasus. Some of the layout here, for example, is not 100% finalized because we have more illustrations to put in. And there we have our Ani, which is the opossum race, which are native to South America, but they can be basically placed anywhere. I have to admit, I really enjoyed doing the history on those guys. So that's one example of one such chapter. Like I said, there's a lot more to go through. But yeah, so yeah, there you go. Give us a bit of a preview to see the work on progress. We have hopefully a few more chapters we'll have finalized. Like I said, unfortunately, as I said many times, I'm kind of stuck waiting for our work to slowly trickle in, and I'm trying to accelerate that process, but unfortunately I'm kind of a slave to the whole system as much as everyone else, and like I said, I won't be developing any other projects until this one is resolved. So I'll sign it off there, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, guys and gals, have a wonderful evening and a good holiday season.